Hey, my Epoxy creatives! Today we're going to figure out how to make a foam ocean on a wooden board. First and most important, safety when working with resin. Protect yourself, your breathing, and your hands, and your body, and your room, and your workspace. Then check the humidity. If it's higher than 50%, regular artistic art resin won't work. But Resin Pro has a special resin for high humidity called 101. It's medium thick and you'll need to wait a bit longer before pouring your ocean. Next, it's the room temperature. It should be no lower than 24 degrees and no higher than 29. Otherwise, the resin will heat up too fast. Before starting, you need to prep your board. Sand the surface when you pour the resin, and also the sides. Most wooden items sold in stores are coated with varnish or oil, and that has to be removed. Otherwise, the resin won't stick. I sand with the paper disc 180 sandpaper. Then wipe everything with the alcoholic pad 2 degrees. And then comes the next step. An acrylic paint underpainting. Now let's move on to the base layer. You can skip the acrylic underpainting if you want, but I like using it. The paint should be thick and rich, and we create smooth color transitions without adding water. This way it's dried faster and won't ruin the resin. Choose a natural Bristol brush, otherwise the gradient will look streaky and messy. Once you've blended the color, you can add some details. I mix black paint with a little water until it's about the consistency of shampoo. Dip a white brush in, then tap the brush so the paint sprinkle off, kind of like flicking ash from a cigarette. I don't smoke, but you can know the motion. Just don't overload the brush or you get big blotches. Better to practice on the scrap first, then do it on the board. Leave it to dry completely. While it's drying, I start mixing up the resin from Resin Pro. Thick resin, my lovely resin, it's called Deluxe. And don't forget, I got a promo code NuttyRoom for 10% off. Now, the rules for getting the perfect ocean. First, no humidity. We already talked about that. 2. A solid, rich, white pigment for the resin. Well, mix it in. If it's not blending properly, you'll end up with a cloudy film. 3. The resin thickness is crucial. You want to reach the consistency for thick honey. While the painting cures, I mix my resin, Deluxe, I remind you. And here's another important point, the regular heat gun. I've noticed that with a regular hair dryer, the cells don't turn out fluffy. A consistently heat gun works much better because of the resin thickness. Guys, listen, the resin thickness, and you need to move on not with the strong air streams that just blow the foam away, but with the warm area. Not too hot, just nicely warm. If you only have a regular dryer, switch it on about 10 minutes before starting so it's warm up and ready. And before pouring the resin, you can protect the backside from dips with painter's tape, glue, or liquid latex. I'm not doing that here because I sand it off later with the machine. Now the resin has reached the right thickness. Watch how it flows slowly, not too runny. I apply ocean tinted resin of the handle and clear resin over the rest. Don't be stingy with it, otherwise you'll end up with bland spots. You don't need it. If you don't wait for the resin to thickness enough, you get the same problems. Since acrylic paint leaves a slightly shiny surface, the resin can slide off and form puddle. So it's important to let the thickness first. Next, I add the white lines for the form. I usually do this in stages. Start with just a little and see how it spreads. And when blowing it out, I hold the heat gun at a 45 angle and move on like I'm fanning. Don't point it straight at the resin, or the form will scatter everywhere. Only at an angle. Once I'm happy with the way the form has sprayed, I grab a silicone spray I found mine in an auto shop. I spray just a little onto a piece of cardboard, not onto the board itself. And you'll see the spray bounce back, creating those incredible cells. You see how amazing those cells look? Now just leave everything cure. After it hardened, I set off the excess from all sides and finish it a clear varnish. And all the links to the materials are available in my personal course and on the Patreon, where I got tons of lessons. If you're interested, just reach out. Don't worry, you'll definitely get the hang of it. Believe in yourself and find your own creative flow.